Hey, beautiful soul. Thank you for being a part of this journey called life. Before we begin with your personal details, I'd like to give a brief introduction to the systems we're going to be using. This is a human design and gene keys, so we're going to just highlight what they are, how to use them, and how they can benefit you. So I feel like this is going to be a good foundation going into the more personalized experience that will come after. So, some foundational principles of self understanding. One, we are individuated aspects of consciousness inhabiting a genetic vehicle. Now, I'm going to spare you all the details of cognitive sciences and quantum physics that are included inherently in this statement. If you want to look further into that, all that information is available on the web. But just know that we are inseparable microcosms of humanity and the universe. That is to say that while oftentimes our individuation makes us feel separate and distinct, we are actually an intrinsic part of everything that is. We're also vibrational beings that send and receive information through our auras, like a radio or cell phone, which we created in our likeness to accelerate us. We're constantly sending and receiving information all the time throughout our lives. We're absorbing it from the environment. We're here in these meat suits to be authentic and live out life on our own terms. Because to do so is to live on the front lines of creation, and we are important and intrinsic aspects of creation, just as everything else. But we just happen to be, as far as we know, one of the most self-conscious versions of that. Again, as far as we know. We're always discovering more. So human design and gene keys are tools to empower us by helping us understand all of this through developing transparency within ourselves. It's like true empowerment comes from within and can only come when you have a clear sense of who you are. Because once you have this unshakable foundation, come what may in the world, come what may in your life, you're not going to be so rocked on the inside. And that's what we want here. Another important aspect to talk about is conditioning. So I'm going to use a very simple reference here, and we'll call it nature versus nurture, because most people are familiar with that. So we'll say that our nature is our deepest, most authentic selves. It's who we are beyond all the ideas of what we've been taught of who we are through life. Nurture, in this case, we'll say is all the ways we've been influenced by outside forces. So it's what you think about being a man or a woman, it's what you think about your nationality, it's what you think through the language that you use, and so on and so forth. We're conditioned every day by individuals, by tribes, and tribes will say are any value aligned group we may belong to that exists for emotional support, spiritual guidance, or material gain. These are the people that are in our lives that we can touch and smell. The collective, which in a limited aspect manifests as society, and in a greater aspect, the collective consciousness, as well as the planetary transits as they move through time, which we'll call the quantum morphogenetic field. And so human design gives us a clear understanding of who we are and how we are open to conditioning. And it does so with the body graph, our energetic blueprint. And so getting deeper into it, human design shows us the energetic mechanics of ourselves and those around us, the aspects of humanity we're here to influence, and how we fit into the whole. It shows us how to reclaim our inner authority, how our minds operate and process information, and what environments and roles are best suited for us naturally. It teaches us how to use our mind as the processor it was meant to be so that we may be an outer authority for others. And it also teaches us how to decondition ourselves energetically in order to live true, authentic lives. So as we look at this graph here on the right, you see on the right there's black, and on the left there's red. And so the black represents the conscious aspects of our personality. This is what is like most obvious to us ourselves. And this is the energy of the quantum field that's been imprinted within our genetic matrix at the time of our birth. The red here on the left represents more unconscious aspects of our being that we discover over time through experience, through feedback from others, or through human design itself. And this is the energy imprinted within our genetic matrix, our form, 88 solar degrees prior to our birth. All of this is based on the I Ching, which is the balance of yin and yang in perpetual flow. As you see, like on this outer wheel here, we have all the 64 hexagrams of the I Ching. And this is understood as a 64-bit matrix coding framework of the cosmos and conscious evolution. Within this is the binary framework that is the yin and yang, that is the opposites, and the framework of duality of the material plane, and the greater quantum field of the holographic universe. It's been arranged as a genetic clock that's divided into quarters, each representing a way through which those aspects are manifested. Taking it deeper, each hexagram of the I Ching corresponds to a codon within our genetic matrix. Now, codons are the building blocks of our genetic code. And each one represents an aspect of humanity and humanness in the form of archetypal patterns. All things factored in, this creates more than 66,355,200 variations, all of which are contained within our genetics. We all have them all within our bodies. But we're here to transform those that are in our blueprint and learn about the rest throughout life, because it would be overwhelming for any human being to have to work on every aspect of humanity in any one lifetime. Straight up. The gene keys. So the gene keys were born of human design, and it takes each hexagram infinitely deeper in terms of how we can understand them and relate to them as archetypal patterns within ourselves and within our lives and that we see around us. And it shows us the emotional dynamics of the genetic patterns we've inherited. It teaches us how to decondition ourselves through self-reflection in order to live authentically, and it gives us a clear pathway to achieve inner clarity so that we may act with integrity while exploring our unique gifts in the world. And this is done here, as you see on the right. We have what we call the hologenetic profile, which is broken down into a series that we call the Golden Path. So how these systems are useful. Human design is useful because it provides us a graphical understanding of our energetic blueprint, and it shows us specifically how we influence others and they influence us through our energy fields. This is like such useful information. And so therefore it helps us understand how to use our own inner authority for empowered decision making as well, because each of us, depending on how we are designed, has a specific decision-making process that works best for us. None of it comes from the mind. It shows us how we can be pressured by others to be inauthentic through this conditioning that I mentioned before, even when they're not trying to do so, and how to alleviate that pressure through recognition. It also helps us understand the roles we're best suited for in life so that we can position ourselves for prosperity doing what we love, which is, I think, the foundation of real happiness in life. The Gene Keys provides us a clear roadmap to understanding our prime gifts, unlocking our heart, and living in true prosperity. And that is, again, that golden path sequence. It provides us a clear understanding of the shadows we're here to transform. These are the lower frequency emotional patterns that are present within us and present within humanity. And so that we can improve ourselves in the world around us through our relationships. We transform the world person by person, beginning with us. It helps us decondition our physical, mental, and emotional bodies through self-reflection so that we may share all our gifts with the world with greater clarity and understanding. And it also helps us realize how our vulnerability and sensitivity are actually powerful forces of transformation in the world so that we may thrive through deeper and more enriching relationships. So how they can benefit you. Human design provides you with a clear understanding of how you're designed to operate in this life. Like what you're built for. In black and white. Well, red, black, and white. Helps you reduce the friction, reaction, confusion, and resistance in your life and relationships that occurs through the heavy conditioning that you've experienced, that we have all experienced. It empowers you with self-understanding and helps you share this information with others with clarity so that you can say, look, this is how I'm built, so we can work together this way. And it teaches you how to use the conditioning environment to your advantage, because conditioning is not necessarily bad. There is no good and bad here. There's awareness and unawareness. So if you're being conditioned unawares, this is a pressure being put on you that is limiting you. But if you're aware that this energy is available to you, then you can access it and use it to your advantage. Now, the Gene Keys. The Golden Path provides with a clear step-by-step process of self-reflection. It gives you specific things to focus on and to dive into and to process in your experience. And this helps you to reduce the friction, confusion, reaction, and resistance in your relationships by transforming your inner world. It only takes one to transform any given relationship. You. It empowers you with self-understanding and helps you share with others through heartfelt language. So this helps you understand the frequency of language itself and how you're using it in your communication. And it also adds incredible depth to the foundation of understanding that is available in human design, and that is why I have chose to integrate them so deeply in the holographic universe systems that I create. But ultimately, this is about you. It's not about me or what I think. It's not your tribe or what they think you should do for them materially or emotionally or spiritually or whatever. It's not the collective society or what they think or expect from you. If someone says something that doesn't resonate with you, that's perfectly okay. I mean, myself included, and in whatever we're going to go through in when we discuss your personal particulars, it doesn't mean that either of us is wrong. It means that we're individuals. The way that I see it is, by being your authentic self, through minimizing your conditioning and the aspects of reaction that have been implanted within you, you shift the fundamental dynamics of experience for yourself, for everyone you come across, especially those in your everyday life, and by proxy, the collective consciousness, the species mind, of which you are an intrinsic part. Because as you evolve personally, we all evolve. It must work that way. And that is how you change the world as an individual. So, the more authentic you are, the better off everyone is, naturally. That said, trust your intuition. Trust your feelings. Trust your gut response. All of this sensory information is providing you with clues and keys. Once you've been deconditioned, once you understand how this information is coming to you, it becomes so much easier. But ultimately, you have to follow your heart and follow your inner authority, because that is key. So my objectives for this video are to provide you with an insightful and inspiring synopsis of your gene keys and human design so that you have a solid foundation of understanding as you continue your journey of self-embodiment. It can be a lot to receive all this information and a lot to unpack it and put it all together. So what I want to do is just give you a good global overview, understand some foundational understanding of how the dynamics and the interplay work, and then you can explore it as you see fit. And then share with you the wisdom and knowledge I've accumulated in a practical way so that you can apply it in your everyday life and transform your world. Because however spiritual or hoo-ha, wow, this journey can be at times, we have to walk with both feet on the ground, living this life every day. And this information is very practical in that sense. So I'm going to do my best to deliver it that way. I also will I have a very logical mind, and so I'm going to do my best to deliver this information in a logical and thoughtful way that resonates with you, hopefully, and inspires you to dig deeper into the materials I provided with an understanding of the greater context of the whole in which each part is experienced. And most importantly, I hope to help you realize how unique, powerful, and important you are so that you feel empowered through self-intimacy, through this internal clarity and understanding that is available here. Remember this above all else. We are human beings, not human doings. Being. In the end, life is an experiment and an experience. Therefore, be free to be you. Thank you for being. With love. Now, let's get into the particulars of your design.